Okay, before we close, I want to open the floor for a few moments. First of all, to Jack and Debbie, if you're still here with us, if you're not back on the seas already, if you feel moved to share a few words, I know you're so modest, but it would be a great honor to hear from you
Well, here
for
is
us.
Captain Jack and Debbie.
Captain Jack! I don't see
Hey,
Debbie there. Good to see you.
yeah, Debbie is actually at the airport picking up another guest.
I'm sure she
Uh,
is.
so we have a sale going out tomorrow, and so we're doing final preparations for that. Um, or excuse me, going out, yeah, tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. So yeah, a couple of things I wanted to, just say is that, we were so much more blessed than you were. To have you, to enjoy the fellowship, to get to know you, it was truly a blessing. When Greg called and he said who you were, I said, "Oh, don't tell him." But I'm kind of a groupie because I watch their show all the time, and oh, it's just so awesome that I'm going to actually meet him. And so I tried to play it cool, but it probably didn't uh, didn't stay so cool. Just a joy. The boat's name is Shalom. I saw someone in the chat asking what the boat's name was. It's Shalom. And as far as not receiving any payment, um, I'm actually far greedier than that. I am not going to settle for a couple of €100, not when I can have Ari and others praying for my children, Joshua, Angela, Timothy, and Christopher. Please pray for that their walk would be closer to God, that they would just enjoy His sweet fellowship. He would draw them near, and of course, that they would glorify Him, bring glory to His name.
Amen. Yes, thank you for that. And you should know that they are in our prayers. I was going to reach out to you after this fellowship and ask you for that sheet of paper where you said their names. And also, you said there were certain charities that you said in lieu of paying you, we could give to these charities that are all, of course, about helping widows and orphans in Israel and just further, channeling light and abundance and charity to the Jewish people in Israel. Um, if anyone has questions for Captain Jack, feel free to chime in right now. But where did this come from, Captain Jack? Where did it come from, and how did you feel when this war broke out?
Yeah, so I wish I could tell the story of how I was motivated by, the concern for the Jewish people, but actually, a buddy of mine called and he had to get to a wedding in the States, and so he said, would you mind coming to pick me up? I said, sure. It'll take me about 25 hours to get there, and it'll take us 25 hours to get back. And then I got to thinking, well, no sense taking an empty boat there and taking an empty boat back. So I reached out to Emma, who she's an Israeli that runs a charity, and she's does Facebook and has a lot of connections, just to see, put our feelers out and see if there was anyone who needed a ride back to Israel. And then at the same time, and completely separate and not at all related, I got the call that you mentioned from Greg. And Greg said, can you host my friend Ari? He's going to be staying in Larnaca until the airways open up again. And I said, oh, I can do you one better. I can take him to Israel. So, I don't know. You just take advantage of the opportunities as they come.
Right. And in some ways, like we were just talking about how there could be such paradigm shifts and opportunities that you don't even see them. But the minute it seems that God presented you with this opportunity, you and Debbie just said, not only are we doing this, but we are going to continuously do this until there is no more need. And I
Yeah.
was thinking the whole next day, right now, you're 12 hours into the journey back, 15 hours into the journey back. It's not like
Yeah.
a carnival cruise ship where it's hard to walk across the boat without slamming your head into,
Right.
the bow or I forgot all the terms you guys were using. You and your wife
Right.
were just so beautiful and adorable in your relationship, talking captain and skipper talk to each other. But it's not a simple journey, and are you, after having done this round trip and you're planning the next round trip, are you still as committed to continuously doing this until you're not needed by the nation of Israel anymore?
Yeah, absolutely. We're heading back to the States for a wedding in early July. And so we can do it 2 more weeks. We plan to go tomorrow, the 23rd, and then on the 30th, returning on the 24th and the 1st. But then we're basically, having to head back to the States. We have a crew coming from Kona, Hawaii, that's going to be using our boat in our absence to do some navigation training, and they've been getting their skipper's rating, and now the final part is to do some actual hands-on sailing, and so uh, they're going to take care of our boat while we're gone. So it's a win-win.
Are all of your trips filled? Or is every spot taken in every upcoming trip?
So the trip tomorrow to Haifa from Larnaca is completely full. The trip back
What does that
will
mean,
be
completely full? How many people?
10.
10.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, just to let you guys know, that's 10 plus the two of you, right? Or is it including
No,
you?
that includes us.
It's
Yeah.
10 including you. That's
But
that's a lot. That is a
yeah,
lot for that boat, you know, and
because we had 7, right, for you with your trip, I think.
because people were missed their connecting flights and they missed the you know, and so that's what happened. It was
Yeah.
7, which I mean was a little bit on a comfort level more fortunate, but you know, there were spots that they
Yeah.
could have been filled,
Yeah.
but now I understand that. I mean, there are just so many people turning to me. Is your phone ringing off the hook with all the people just
Yeah.
I'm sending?
Yes. Yes. And we go back and forth as to, should we open it up to more people, or should we maintain at least some reasonable level of, comfort? Already, there's certainly not beds for everyone. So people are, sleeping on the, side, the cockpit and the salon, and, catching naps and sharing, taking turns with the beds. So, you know, um, the boat is rated for 14 people from a capacity standpoint from the manufacturer, but I could not imagine having any more than 10. And the lifeboat is rated for 10 people. So we've limited that. That's our hard limit. But other than that, we really prefer, 7 or 8.
Right. Okay, well,
But how
that's
do you say
beautiful.
no? You know,
How do you say no? Right. Have you had to say no? Yeah, have you turned people away yet or pushed them to the next one?
yes, exactly. And so we put them to the next one. And um, but then after the 30th and the 1st, there won't be a next one. And so, that'll be, hopefully the skies will be opened up by then. We're praying for sure.
Okay, last question by me, and then I want to open up to the fellowship to ask Captain Jack any questions. But you know, these prophecies that I thought of and reflected upon, that I shared with you, did you think at any point, did you reflect on the reality that you were a living fulfillment of the prophecies of the ancient prophets of Israel? Did that strike you, or were you just sort of doing your thing?
Yeah, I don't think I thought of it beforehand, but when you shared that, it really blessed me, and I'm embracing that. You know, not the only ones, and we're not, you know, um, really special. But yeah, definitely called by God, and He's calling many to serve and to be a friend of Israel, and we're just thrilled to be a part of it.
That's beautiful. Okay, first of all, I'm excited that you I have a connection to you, and I know that we're going to be beloved friends for the rest of our lives.
Yeah,
I've gotten permission from my partners to invite you to be a lifetime member of the Land of Israel Fellowship, you and Debbie. I feel like you
nice,
already are, but
nice.
yeah, so that is a comfort for me, that I know that the day will please God come where I can bring you to my farm and host you here and slaughter you a sheep and wash your feet and give you the Abrahamic reception that you deserve. Does anyone have any questions they want to ask Captain Jack? Okay. Oh, wait. Yes, Kaylee.
if we wanted to contribute financially to your ventures, how can we offer you that service?
Well, God is graciously meeting all of our needs, and we abundantly. But we do support a couple of missions, and there's Ebenezer Operation Exodus. It's a Christian organization that helps Jews make Aliyah. And there's International Prosperity Foundation that Emma runs here locally in Cyprus. And she does food baskets and a charity shop. And she just does a great job with all the resources she gets. And, the more she receives, the more she gives. So we're real fans of hers. I don't know. I guess, Ari, if I were to email you that list, you could
Absolutely, we'll
make it
share it.
available.
No question. Absolutely.
Okay,
I mean,
that's great.
Johannes Barthel is a friend of mine for many, many, many years.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
I can see how you have been touched by him in that way. Absolutely, we'd be happy to do that. There's
Yeah.
one more question I want to ask you. I just want to hold on to you, but not let you go too quickly. One question I wanted to ask then: was there any point on our journey that you were nervous or afraid, because you just broadcast such faith, such even equilibrium? Was there a moment you were afraid there?
For sure. I was very concerned, when the GPS went out and didn't come back for a long time. We had prepared for that emotionally and somewhat, with our nautical charts. We knew the direction by the compass that we needed to. Oh, hey.
Skipper Debbie!
Yay!
I'm back. Picked up passengers for tomorrow.
Oh,
Great
beautiful.
passenger for tomorrow.
You're going to need to watch this fellowship after, when we release it again. And now that you're a lifetime member of the fellowship and you didn't even know it. But I was asking Captain Jack this final question. I asked because he broadcasts, he meshaders, such like faith and trust and calm, which is exactly what you want a captain to broadcast. And I'm not sure that all of the people on the ship felt that at every moment, particularly, as Captain Jack said, when the GPS was scrambled. So I was asking if there was a time that he felt, or now that you're here, that you felt fear on the journey.
A little disconcerted, particularly as we got close to Cyprus and it was hidden in the haze. And so we weren't sure if that was Cyprus or not. That was a little
about Israel?
No,
we got
coming back.
Oh,
Going
I see.
there,
I see.
No fear.
No fear.
Coming
Even
back.
when I was whispering the message of the spies in your ear, saying, "Why are there mountains over there? Is that Lebanon? Are we going into Lebanon?" Because you remember I was saying that. I really was. And it turned out not to be that crazy, because the next day we heard about a boat that went right into Hezbollah territory in Lebanon, and the Israeli Navy had to come and save them.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
that was a possibility. But
and when we left, we had charted a course that was it hugged the coast just a little too tightly. And so the Israeli Navy intercepted us twice to tell us to change our course to get out. And so then it was like, okay, so now we're off our planned course. How do we get back on our planned course so that we hit Cyprus? But it was, God took care of us. It was right on the mark.
You were incredible.
And when every couple hours or so we would get a GPS signal, the boat would be exactly on the track that we had, plotted. And so it was totally God.
Right. Well, I'm shocked a little bit, Debbie, that you said no fear, because you were really there for the fearful moments when the yacht was coming straight for us and you dodged the yacht, and then we started spinning out of control. The shark, you remember there were sharks there, or, there were like some moments there, and you just kept it steady, like you were a weathered, seasoned veteran sailor, even though you told us later on that you had never even sailed out of the Bay of Cyprus. So this is your first time.
First time.
Talk about
God
just nerves of steel. What a hero you are.
A lifetime of living with God's faithfulness and grace. He is faithful. all the time.
Yes,
Mhm.
you are a testimony to that, and I feel like I'm show and telling right now. My fellowship, my beloved fellowship to you, and you to the fellowship, and I'm
Mhm.
just so joyed to make the connection. And I love you guys so much. Just looking at your face, I'm like scrounging for constant questions. I could keep asking you guys questions just because I don't want to stop looking at your face because I have it so associated with salvation and love and kindness and benevolence and goodness, and I can understand why you would want to keep doing this despite the difficulty that it would be. 25 hours, 3 hours later, 25 hours back, one day later, 25 hours back, and 3 hours later. It's a lot.
Yeah.
But you guys are like absolutely the self-sacrifice. You should be paid 1,000-fold, and we will pray for your children,
Yes.
for
you.
God to
Thank you.
bless them and shine His light on them, and give to the charities that you requested. And then I just, bless me and bless you and bless all of us that we stay connected in the days ahead. These are great, great days for Israel and for redemption. And you guys are
Amen.
definitely playing a role. So thank you
Amen.
all so
Amen.
much.